Well, hello guys, welcome back. Before I begin, I don't want to make any group of gods look bad. This is just my experience. But I went through two really extremely bad panic attacks today. I haven't had panic attacks that bad in like a decade. And I'm like, okay, my body is telling me something's going on because a raven video had popped up out of nowhere. And raven and crow are those birds that usually it feels like Loki's using them. And Raven's message was to see why you weren't getting something that you were really trying for and sit down and reason through it. And I tried that. And I tried reasoning through it, and I tried working with Apollo because it felt like Apollo was asking Loki to step aside for a while so that Apollo could work with me. But going up to this, I should have been trusting my discernment as a witch. I've been a witch for decades, and I couldn't really tell any of these gods in this pantheon apart. That should have been a red flag for me. I couldn't really sense anywhere to go to. Usually, like, if another god wants to work with you, and they come in, your gods are usually either there with you, like, yeah, go ahead. Or there's clearly a place for you to go to. This felt exactly like being on a branch. A swaying branch, and being asked to jump and not seeing anything there. No other tree, no nothing. You're just going to jump straight down and fall down. And to know that once you jump off that branch, you're never getting back on that branch again. You can never go back on the safe Yargstrel or whatever the hell we call it. Bad with language, you guys know that. And I'm seeing all these other problems crop up too. I'm like, there's something here that's wrong. I do have a learning problem, but I'm not getting the Greek words at all, and that's wrong. I'm not getting the pronunciation at all, and that's wrong. All these red flags kept coming up. And finally, when I was trying to work with Apollo, and I tried to work with him twice today, I got these blinding panic attacks. And I thought, you know something? This isn't the first time this has happened with the Greek gods. This is why I had worked with them in the past and stopped, because I would get these blinding panic attacks when I worked with them. And I don't know what it's from. I have no idea. I don't know if in a past life I like died in an earthquake in Greece or something. You tell me, but I get these blinding panic attacks when I work with them. So I just woke up from the second one because I like fell asleep, but I like woke up into this panic attack, and I'm like, Loki? He's like, yeah. I'm having a panic attack every time I try to talk to Apollo. Then don't talk to Apollo. It wasn't said in a mean way. It was like, well, why would you do that if you keep getting burned? Loki's kind of the teacher where if you touch a hot stove and you get burned, he figures you're going to learn eventually that every time that stove, you see that little red light on that tells you it's hot, eventually you're going to learn that red light means hot. No matter how many times you think, oh, I'll just touch it to see if it's hot, you'll learn it's smarter to look for that red light before you touch a stove. And I had a dehumidifier in my basement, and I had heard this loud sound all day long. And I'm like, what's making this loud sound? It was the dehumidifier. And I'm like, that's a machine. Loki's getting my attention. Loki's like, over there. I can't snap my fingers either. I know, I'm so limited. And he's like, hey, pay attention. I'm getting this machine to act up because I need your attention. And it made me think there are only 2 times Loki ever gets in my way. The first time is to see how badly I want something. It's like, okay, you want this? Let's see how badly you want it. Let's see. Come on, show me how badly you want this. And he'll eventually let me have it. The other time is when it's clearly not good for me and I'm putting myself in danger, and I'm always blind to the danger. I'm completely blind to the danger, or I'm sensing the danger, I'm sensing something's wrong or not missing, or not there, is missing. And I'm still proceeding ahead because I'm not trusting my discernment. And I told you, he's been jumping in the middle every single time, and I couldn't figure out why. It's not like when I'm talking with the Norse gods where Loki can pop in, and it's an easy part of the conversation. Everybody's like, oh, it's Loki, and, everybody has a conversation. It's like him showing up, like, what the hell are you doing talking to my human? So, at first I thought it was, Loki's just being way too possessive and territorial. But then the more I thought about it, he finally stepped out of the way. He was like, okay, you want to see why I'm getting in your way here? By all means, I will step back. Have a taste. And that was the most terrifying thing I went through. And I'm like, screw it. I don't care if this is some kind of initiation by the Greek gods. I don't care if I'm getting some kind of gift. Screw it. I'm out. I'm done. I'm out. I don't care what Greek god wants to talk to me. This is the worst experience I've ever had. There are certain pantheons that I look at that I love and respect all gods, but I go, no, this is definitely the case. It was like the more I try to make contact, the worse it's actually getting, and that would be the red flag. I'd tell you, if any other god, Loki included, that if every time you're making contact, you're feeling sick or something's going wrong or you're getting all confused, then that's not a god to be in communication with. So, Loki was trying to jump in my way to protect me. And he was being amazingly patient because he does believe in free will. He's like, he would let you jump in a volcano if your damn curious ass wanted to jump in the volcano and see what would happen. He would tell you you're going to die, but if you wanted to go jump in that volcano, he would let you go jump in the volcano. He might try to stop you. He might not. It depends on the mood he's in. Like I said, tonight he was finally like, alright, you want to see one get in your way? Fine, here, have a taste. Didn't like it? Have another taste. Have a taste. See what it tastes like. And so he was getting my way for my own good. I don't have anything in my philosophy to tell you why I had such a bad reaction to the Greek gods. But it was like if you have an allergic reaction to something, it was exactly that kind of reaction. It was just like a pure blind panic. I had noticed I'd woken up in a panic about a week or so ago. And I think it was Dionysus that set that off. And it's like, there's just something about these gods. I love them dearly, but I cannot work with them without them setting off a panic attack. So that to me is a bad sign. Thor can show up, Odin can show up. I can work with Jörmungandr, Hel, Fenrir. Doesn't matter. I work dragons, gargoyles, anything. They can all show up and I'm not having a blind panic attack. If they would startle me, yeah, I might go, eh! But it would not be the sheer terror panic of this thing is going to come closer to me and eat me. So I think Loki was trying to tell me there's something wrong there. Whatever way I'm built psychically, if I try to tap into them, it's like me going over and, oh, third rail, what does this do? Bzop. And I didn't want to tell you guys because I'm like, I have to be insane. In Wicca, you're taught you can work with any god you want. Any god at all, any pantheon, doesn't matter. Just walk in, make yourself a home. And I have been beating myself up, guys. I've been trying to work past the ideas that a lot of us were raised with, that the great gods are cold and remote, and that they'll pick humans up for a while and then throw them away, that they're fickle. And I just couldn't work past it. And I was not working past it because the Greek gods weren't giving me any indication of, yeah, we're loving cuddly kittens. That's us. You just misunderstand us. It was really, really bad. And luckily Loki had mercy on me. As soon as he saw how much of a panic attack I was having, he was like, it's okay. Attack stopped instantly. And Loki's like, see? I'm like, but Loki, I thought you wanted me to work with him. Well, I think he needed me to learn the lesson the hard way. As heartless as that sounds, as expensive as it has been, he needed me to really learn the lesson the hard way, to go in there, balls to the wall, as the expression goes, and it has to do with cars, not men. He needed me to go in there and get really, really hurt and terribly burned and scarred to the point where I still had Loki to toddle back to. He wasn't so pissed off that he wasn't going to pick me up. He's like, we're doing this while I'm in a generous mood. And I know absolutely that's why we did it. 'Cause as I sat down to do this recording, I remembered a story I read in Grimm's Fairy Tales. And there's this king, and he has a beloved, it's either a falcon or a hawk. I think it's a falcon. And he loves this falcon. He completely adores this falcon. Falcon has all the rights a king has. That's how much he loves this bird. And he has this precious cup. Precious cup. If he loves that falcon, he loves that cup just as much. And he's on a campaign. He stops. And he's going to take a drink of water from the stream. And he dips the cup in. He's so thirsty and goes to drink the water. His beloved bird screams and knocks the water out of his hand. And he thinks, well, I just startled it. And he's a bit angry and tired and thirsty, but he goes to do it again. And the bird screams and knocks the cup out of his hand again. And he's getting pretty pissed off with this bird because he's tired and he's thirsty and he wants this damn water and it smells so good and sweet and everything. He's going to get some. And he takes a third cup. And by now, he has people holding this bird back. Love this bird or not, he's going to kill this damn bird. And he goes to take this drink, and the bird not only dives bombs him, gets away from the person holding it, and dives bombs him, but the bird drinks the water, falls down dead. The water was poison, and the bird was like, why won't you trust me? I've told you twice. I've tried to protect you from it twice. I've attacked the cup twice. Here, do you need to see? And then, of course, the king was grief-stricken because, you know, his favorite falcon was dead. And, you know, poor falcon had only been trying to warn him, but he wasn't paying attention. The falcon had tried twice to warn him, figured, hey, I can't speak your language, but if I attack this cup, I'm sure you know the cup's a bad thing. The king wasn't getting it, and the king was almost, you know, right at the point where he's going to die, right where the water is going to reach his lips, and the falcon was like, well, gotta take one for the team, and, you know. So it's something to think about. Loki can be so confusing that sometimes when he's trying to warn us, like the falcon, we don't get him because he's so damn random. It's like, this is just Loki being Loki, this is just Loki getting in the way, this is just Loki being greedy and wanting all the attention, because that's what I thought the last month or so has been about. I thought it was just Loki grandstanding to get attention for Loki. And I really wasn't appreciating it. I'm like, you're the one who had told me to do this. And he's like, yeah. And I asked him tonight, I said, if you knew this would happen, why would you have me do this? Why now? He's like, well, you trust me enough now. You trust me enough that you knew I would come pick you up after this happened to you, and you had to get this out of your system. You made a promise, but it was a very foolish promise, because if these had meant to be your gods, they would have come to you naturally, and da, and da, and da, and da. And he was very gentle about it. He's like, it's okay. You saw something you liked, and you had to go over and see if you could have it. I understand, but it wasn't what I was meant to have. So they'll be completely taking over these statues. They're like, they really don't give a flying floof if the statue looks remotely like them or not, but Norse gods won't waste anything. So, like Nord had said, one will be for Loki, one will be for Freyr, one will be for someone else. And that's what'll have to happen. And it's weird because I have to change gears now because I was so much gearing up to work with all the Greek energy. I have to kind of go back into low gear, which should have told me something to work with the Norse gods, because to work with the Norse gods, it's really relaxed and natural for me. To work with the Greek gods, it always felt like, well, you're on a computer now, even if you're on, your phone is a computer. Felt like I was constantly overclocking just to try to even barely get their attention. So I do think they work for a lot of people. I think for some people they are the right choice, but it feels, for me, it's like touching the third rail or sticking your tongue in a light socket or any of that other dumb stuff you're not supposed to do. And Loki wanted me to learn the lesson. To really learn the lesson and get really badly burned. And he knows I'm so much like him that I'm like, yeah, but as soon as I get over these burns, I'm gonna go see if I can find anything. He's like, no, you're not. So that's why he's been getting my way. And I should have loved him and respected him, but I just thought Loki was being a jerk. I thought Loki was like, I'm getting in your way because I can, because I'm Loki and I don't want him to share. And I don't know why the Greek gods couldn't see that they were hurting me that badly, but I would keep telling them, and it was like humans speak a completely different language. I thought it was like literally they were having trouble understanding me speaking English because they speak, ancient Greek. It was like they had no concept of human suffering. And I'm like, this is why Jesus became a man. Dionysus seemed to be the closest, but still, it was like that kind of remote feeling of, I don't get what you're talking about. Where with the Norse gods, they've always mostly come across completely human. Oh god, yeah, I know what you mean. Have you ever had a hangover and then had a goat running around your room? No? Well, you should try it sometime. Loki's Becker, yeah! So, I think that's the difference. I think the Norse gods just relate a little more to people. I'm not trying to badmouth the Greek gods, it never would. They work perfectly for some people. For me, no. It was kind of like feeling like I constantly had to prove myself, like I wasn't measuring up. And then as I would listen to these people that were like Greek priests and that, because I'm like, I was raised Catholic. I'm like, if you are confused, go find a priest. It just seemed like Catholicism redone with more gods. It was that tone of voice people use when they preach that sounds really artificial, and they're about to fall asleep. And now let's read an exciting story. And this is a story of blah blah. And I can't even quite do that voice because it's so unnatural, but it's that voice when you hear it. It's a church voice. And it's like, do you go to school to actually learn that delivery? Because that's terrible. It's no soul, no emotion. It's just reading exactly what's in front of you and no emotion. And Loki needed me to get all that out of my system because I was like, it's too much like Christianity. There's concepts of sin and there's the concept of not doing this stuff, concept of right living. I'm like, how's Dionysus included in this again? Because I'm pretty sure, Aphrodite being the patron of prostitutes and him being the patron of like everything else, I'm pretty sure that they don't fit into the shiny new Greek vision. I'm pretty sure they had different, because they had sacred prostitutes in ancient Greece. I'm like, this has really changed. This is not for me. So I couldn't find a workaround either. I tried working with gods alone. That wasn't working because I just felt like I had no information. And all the information I read about them was just going completely out of my mind. And Loki hid my Dionysus book. I know he did. He was like, you're not getting that damn thing back. And the Scary Book of Gods is hidden as well. I don't know where the hell it is, but he hid that too. He hid any reference books I have on the Greek gods. That's what he actually did. He's a smart god. He's a smart boy. So, yeah. They needed me to get burned, and burned pretty badly, but they needed me to do it where I was to the point where I trusted Loki and I trusted the Norse gods to come back and say, okay, you were awful stupid, but we forgive you. So, I'm okay. I'm kind of confused and a little hurt, but in the long run, I really didn't lose anything because everything they got were hand-me-downs from other altars. So those gods or Loa or whomever can have their presence here, and they kind of told me that. And it can always go to someone else, so I can have a Njord altar right over there, which will be awesome because he's kind of like, I'm a lot closer to him than I am to Poseidon. That should have set off all sorts of warning bells because I can just go talk to him and be like, Dad, look, he's driving me crazy. He's like, what do you do now? But I never had that connection with the Greek gods. Oh my god, I've gone on for like almost 20 minutes. I'm so sorry, guys, but it was something else. I have not had panic attacks that bad in decades. So I knew it was something really, really wrong. And Raven wasn't coming on Apollo's behalf. Raven was coming on Loki's behalf or Morgan's behalf, going, hey, stupid, guess what? You're doing something wrong. If you were met with these gods, how come you haven't known them their whole life? I'm like, yep, yep. So I learned my lesson. I'm sorry if you work with the Greek gods and you have a really good experience. I already did the thing of like trying to work with just one or two over like the past week or so, and it just haven't worked, and it was a mess. But I'm okay. Papa Fox is looking after me. He's like, okay, it was hard. Can we make pizza now? I'm like, no, we're not making pizza. We made the chicken Alfredo, and then I made biscuits. And I think at least part, I don't think of it, I think at least part of the Greek gods were Germanic gods playing dress up because they were like, oh, this is so sweet. I've never had that experience before. I've had disinterest, like with the Celtic pantheon. I had complete disinterest, like, we won't smite you, but we don't care for you, tiny human. And it was just like that. They're kind of friendly enough, but really don't come near us. And with the Greek pantheon, it was not good. But with the Norse pantheon, thank the gods, they like me, and I have enough friends in the Egyptian pantheon that if I need to go to Egypt for a while, I'll be like, you won't believe what they did to me. They'll be like, so I hope you guys didn't get bored. I'm sorry I went on forever, but that was just, I don't usually have really vivid experiences like that. It's usually like nothing. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later. Bye bye.